Hey guys, this is part 6. Again, he just wants to be both by himself. Um, Again, we deal with religious trauma, we deal with child abuse, and it's going to get real. So if it bothers you, if you're very sensitive, please keep scrolling. I'm sure there's a funny cat video somewhere, but this isn't it. So at a very early age, it was established that even thinking wrong thoughts was evil. And I was always told, by their words you shall know them. So me thinking I missed my mother was wrong. Me saying I missed my mother was wrong because it made me ungrateful. And nothing made God angrier than an ungrateful brat. Nothing made my parents madder. So, I began to hate myself. And I began to see all the favoritism that my mother was showing to my little brother, showering him with love and affection, and oh my God, if there had been MySpace or TikTok, he would have been all over it, and she would have just looking up by me. I used to say, who knew God had two sons, Jesus and my little brother, because he could do no wrong. And I began to see that I was very removed, that I wasn't a part of this family unit. Language is so important when you have children. Language is so important. So all of a sudden, it was ungrateful. How dare you? It was... Oh, I'm sorry. There's your buddy. There's your cat friend. Sorry. My dog is in love with our cat, and they're best buddies. And she's crawling to come in, so just a minute. Sorry it wasn't her, but we have moths this big, and they against the door. You really need to watch how you speak to your children, because I don't mean like pronouns and stuff like that. I mean the way you refer to them when they're there and when they're not there. And words like evil were thrown around a lot. And I was so hell-bent on earning love and attention because I knew I didn't have a space. I was Scar in the cave. And I knew it. And I kept thinking to myself, what if Scar could change? What an asset he would have been with his army. What an asset he could have been. And I tried to earn love. And it didn't really work. My rest of my family was moving on. My one possible dad got married, and he was living in Hawaii at the time, stationed in the army. My other possible dad had a girlfriend who he eventually married and has a beautiful family with. One of my brothers I'll never meet. And my mother was dating a lot. Very beautiful woman. And all in the meantime, it's evil and evil and evil and God and the rapture and all this other. There's not going to be money. There's not going to be money. All you have is gold. Well, we have to have gold because that's all that's going to be there. And so religion hit me upside the head because, one, I was a lowly woman. I was told I could be a teacher or a missionary, but my first duty was to be a mother. And I thought, okay, all right. I didn't find out until years later that I was born unable to have children, but they thought God would cure it. So they kept pushing me and pushing me. Be holy or be better. Be better. and they were hoping he would cure me. Um, but nothing I did was good enough. And I began to see how I was never going to be accepted. How something was wrong with me. My own mother wouldn't claim her cub, unless there's something wrong with the cub. So what was it with me? And I didn't relate to children my own age. So going to church was a nightmare. Because they're all like, Jesus is love and la 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 la. And I'm like, do you have gold for the rapture? Because currency won't mean anything except gold. Apparently that's in the Bible somewhere. So I was ostracized, I was homeschooled, went to church 3 times a week. But the children avoided the hell out of me, again, because I was the weird kid. And, so it made me feel worse. What am I missing? I'm nothing. No grade was ever good enough. No achievement was ever good enough. And that brings me to 1998. Lion King Part 2 hits. I don't care what any of you will say. Lion King Part 2 is Romeo and Juliet, and it slaps. Slaps the mask off my face. Did you see that? That mask just went down. So all of a sudden, I really saw myself. I saw myself more so. The saga just kept going. And now we had Kovu. And I was like, okay, well, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be good. They kept saying how fat I was, how huge I was. I was an athlete. I was bulky, but I was muscle. Because I loved to be outside. I loved to lift weights, and yeah, even at 10, because we all had to be ready for the rapture. So everyone was like, you're so fat, you're so fat. I was tall, I shot straight up, but I was so bulky. So I was like, okay, well, if you're fat, then that means that you don't respect God because you're a glutton, and that's evil too. So you can't like food either. And I saw Kovu in that movie, groomed to be evil, and all he wanted was somewhere to fit. Love me, please, just love me, give me some. And, I saw myself very vividly. And it never left. Plus, the soundtrack slaps. Smacks. It slaps, it's bussin'. Sorry, LaDonna. It's bussin'. So now I really believe I'm evil, because my grandmother went from holding me, loving me, cuddling me, to, get away from me, you are Satan. I know you're Satan. You're Satan here to destroy my joy. You're trying to steal my joy for the day. God gave me joy and you're trying to steal that away from me. That's Satan and I see you. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. At this point, my grandfather's still working. So if I can't talk to her, he's not gonna want to talk when he gets home. So I began to talk to myself. I began to imagine that I would be sitting there having a conversation with somebody. And then the person started talking back. This is when I realized something wasn't right. I had dissociative identity disorder. Perfect. Zoe, perfect.